be attentive, should we not? From the time we open the door in the morning and we think it's going to be a boring day and we bump into a car that has a license plate of whatever it is, 235-65218. Doesn't matter what it is, but I may have said a number that made you think. Jen, I only gave this video to you. I'm in your house. I'm looking down. I see what you got written right there. Move it away. There's no space for my stuff. I gotta have a space for my paper and my stuff. And in fact, while I'm writing, you may as well shove a carbon copy underneath. So whatever I write for me, I can be writing for you. Lest not you are interested, regardless, that is not my business. My obligation in my business is to make sure that it gets out and there's duplications in case I disappear. Not to the fact that I disappear, but if I'm not there right now, and you're where I am, where I just duplicated the paper or put it online, and now you see the paper in front of you, right down there, there's something important on that piece of paper. And all you did was scribble. And how would I know that? Because you're going to look for the scribble part now. Now something's going to bump into front of you, in front of you something will bump in the night. Like Jupiter. Number 99 for the count and the basic of numbers, and 99 bringing it to 44 or 11 of both worlds. 1441 is what Grover says. He's sitting on a lamppost. I've seen this for 3 years, but most people have only seen it this year. Now we've seen the same thing, but my time to put it to the action within my own mind has been 3 years ago. 99 and 44 is 44. 99 and 11 is 11, and 99 and 77 is 77. I just mentioned 1, 4, and 7, and on the lower part of your keyboard or on the left of your telephone, it's in order, 1, 4, and 7, 1 month of February of 29 days, because it was the first day, not the last day, but it was the end day for the entrance into this world. Happy Valentine's Day. Why don't we take the clock and turn it backwards? Not actually the clock, but time. We went from February 29th to February 28th. It was March 1st, and then February 29th, February 28th. Why? Because I've reversed it. Is that possible? Well, didn't you hear it come out of my mouth? It now is. It's what you think. So the first time I bumped into Jupiter having 63 moons, I don't care how many moons it has today. What's sunk into my head and what's stayed there for the longest time for an irregardless reason, because I don't know. I just knew remember everything. That's all it told me when I began. Don't worry what you forget. Don't worry what you just remember. Just whatever you remember, duplicate it. Write it down, share it with the network, because it is the network that brings us together. Isn't that why we're here? Isn't that why I'm still on in your face? Isn't that why we have viewers that are watching us? Others who are attentive, who think that we're crazy or nuts, or don't think that we really know what we're doing because they can't actually see the answer right now? Well, when I began to build the bridge and I threw the cord from one side of the river to the other side of the river, nobody knew I was building a bridge. But yet there was a cord. Maybe they thought someone was trying to hang themselves. And talking about hanging oneself, there was a picture on the Pope's neck. If you ever take a look at the Pope Ratzinger, the rat of all time, the mite, who comes out at 5885 right now, 1344. I did say that 17, 20, 23 are all in the center world. 17 is 8, 20 is 2, 23 is 5, 8, 2, and 5. 8 by 2 is 16 by 5. Isn't that not 80? 80, telling about the 20 world of 80, 20, 20, 20, 20. Now, do I have to get into this explanation right now? Because it's the 9 lives of the cat, where the 24 is the cat, and 2 times 4 equals the 8 Neptune. So the cat must be scratching out Neptune on both sides. Maybe it's the tail in the air on one side of the cat while he's sniffing with his mouth on the other side, or is he just next to the other cat? 2 cats in the same box? That's why 1 and 2 in the 10 horse is split between red and blue, between the 1 and the 3, the A and the C, and that's in horses, because it's also 1 and 2 in horses. One is in thoroughbred, where you're sitting on the back, and the other is in the harness, sulky, where you're sitting on a buggy hooked up to the neck of a horse, where it's the horse that sees whatever he sees first, and sometimes he gets spooked. We're never really 100% sure what it is, but at least we know he was spooked. Where am I? I'm a little lost, because I went off track. But you wouldn't know unless I told you that I was lost. So we were talking all about Jupiter. So now, let's go to Saturn. Saturn is number 93. 93? That's right. That gets the Queen's wrapping of the 7th gate. Although I was talking about Pope Ratzinger, he's got a thing around his neck. I swear, you go check this out, my friends. You check this out. Pope Ratzinger, he's got that red thing around his neck. Okay, I want to show you something. Take a look at this. See that rope over here, the Jack of Spades? This is exactly what he's wearing around his neck. So is he wearing the spade around his neck? I don't know if he's a spade, which they also call a pick, which has a Q in it. But I will tell you, 7 and 1, 7 and 3, and 1 and 9 is 17, or 1771 of the Tea Party. And that's the number that connects exactly to Saturn. Not maybe and about. It's 100%. It's a number. 9 and 1 is 10. 7 and 3 is 10. We got the 10-10 world of 20. Now, you want to do this 17? Okay, we're going to do this number 17, and it's on the other page. So it's the end of a beginning of something, and I marked it without even looking, and I don't even mark my pages. It's what comes into my head, because 63 moons on Jupiter, and 61 and 60 moons on Saturn, because that's what I first saw when I started remembering. That's what I remember first, and that's what I retained, and that's what I like to entertain myself. Something that happened closest to the beginning at one time before anything else was mentioned. For me, it was 60 moons. How many is it many moons ago? L, M, N. Boom, boom, boom in the E family. 5, 10, 15. L, M, N. 3 in a row. 5, 5, and 5. The May of a Mayflower coming here in the month of May. And it's the 125th day, which is 5 times 5 times 5. And add them up, it's 15, and it becomes 140. 140 becomes 146. A, D, F. Is it the fad? Is your genes faded away because it's EF? So now you can say it as fade. And to fade away is what? Regardless. Saturn has 60 and 61 moons. Add them up, 121, 11, 11. 17, that made it to the 10-10 world, that connected A and G in the number system, however you want on the piano. They're back to back. A and G, take your first step forward, take your first step back. Well, no one's taking a step back, they're back to back. So as one walks forward, the other walks forward, they walk and they spread a certain amount away, and they're holding a gun, a revolver, the revolving door. Most guns hold 6 bullets. So by the time you reach your last bullet, it would be lights out. So 1 bullet of 6 bullets, the 1 spirit of 6, which connects the 6 sides of a dice cube. Wow! We went from 1 and 7 being a piano next door to the 3 white keys, which had the 2 back keys. Did you know the 2 black keys? I just found out where they came from. They're on the back of the horse. Isn't the horse as white as a ghost? And the guy riding him, you can't see his head? Wouldn't that be a black key because he comes in the middle of the night? You wouldn't see it as a white because he'd see his head. Because it's only the blacks who came out to kill at night, right? Isn't that what the stories told us to understand? So we'd have a black guy with a white hat riding in the night on a black horse. He'd look like a ghost floating on. If the horse was black, he'd be a ghost. But if the horse was white, then you'd see something, or you'd see hardly anything. Number 17. Drum roll, please. Number 17 is the first state under not John Adams. Who is it? I have to know who it is. The list of presidents. Yes, Thomas Jefferson. He came in March 4th. and he erected the 17th state. Now think, he's the 17th state. It was Sweet 16 ending, okay, with Tennessee. The only one that John Adams was able to get. 2,188 years. Is that what it is? 2188? 2,188 days. 21 is the cube. So we now connected man's mind over here. We got to put on, and it's very important. I never wanted to put on my tefillin, but you got to put it on, man. You're part of the game. You're now in a cult. I go in there and they're like, I don't want to put on the tefillin, but I want to put on the tefillin now because it's part of the cult. You're in the cult with them. Oh, I have to put it on. And guess what? I just thought of it now, and it's happening on Thursday. Andrew Frank's bar mitzvah. Oh, it's such a great year in my family. All the numbers, they click to where I see them. And it's all about me, how much fun I'm having to do this. Because if I wasn't having any fun, there's a chance that I wouldn't really lance myself into this. Lance Armstrong, run as quick as you can and watch out you don't get caught. But they weren't playing hide and go seek. But at the end, guess what? He had a little bit too much Gatorade, a little bit too much Red Bull inside of him. They pulled him over for drugs, but it wasn't drugs at all. They created the whole thing, and he was paid a large sum to just say, yes, it's true. Just to teach a lesson. He swallowed his gut. We have Ohio. Say oh, say hi. How high? Oh, how high? Or maybe these are just little dimples on the outside saying hi. You know, nobody goes anywhere without this. This is everything. This is baseball, my friends. You want to play baseball? Well, listen, if there's no runs scored, okay, and you're in the inning, the top and the bottom of the inning, the top and the bottom of the H for the home team, why put an M when it's a home team? It's not a visiting team, it's a home team. 15 and 15 is 30, okay? 30 and 17 is 47. You have creation, so now you have to look up 17, which is Ohio, and who was number 30, the 30th state, is Wisconsin, May 29th in 1848. Space. We reenact that number this year because it's space and it's on the 29th day, in which 29 is an add-on. 29, 30, 31 is all an add-on. Why 31 works better than anyone else is because it's 7 times 3 and it's 7 plus 3 is J and U. It's Jew. It's the initials for Jupiter. So they're the only ones. Did I explain exactly why I said this? May 29th is an add-on. 7 times 4 is 28. You have 4 suits. You have 7 piano keys. You have A, B, C, and the 4th one is on the right side, and the 4th key is on the top. And 7 times 4 is 28, and it reflects Einstein in 1776 and the formation of how Rubik's Cube turned everything, and all the islands, which reflect, I'm assuming, the nebulas and the constellations, but like an avatar, somehow they were able to untie and move the islands around however they wanted to put the islands. The same way they chose the areas in Monopoly and put the other ones together. There's a chance they took this island and they moved it over there and they say, no one will ever find it. Pegasus under Andromeda, they're not supposed to be there. One is in Israel, the other one is in Canada. One is in Nunavut. None of it at all. Quebec is inside of Pegasus right now. But Andromeda, which shows 2 legs, and 2 legs might be a Suez Canal in which adjoining worlds to cross a bridge from one side to the other side. Now I can make up any crap I want, but you have to make up a story where the story has an actuality where I explain it, you say, oh yeah, that can happen. You have to make it happen with your own head, because when you don't believe it, you can't give it 100%. It's only when you really believe, when you're really psyched, but you're really inside and you know what you got to do and it feels so good and you really know what it is and you really believe it and it's really in your heart and you believe what it is. You believe what it is. Oh my God. And then sometimes you say it too much, say, it's not a big deal. But sometimes it is a big deal. 63 and 60 is 123 ABC. 93 is 17 to make it to a 10-10 world. 1 in 4, okay, was with Jupiter. That's your DNA. That's the beginning DNA of what? Possibly the DNA of the alphabet, because DNA is everything to 14. 14 and 14, it circumferences the 28 numbers that are inside the alphabet, in which you have to count the difference and connecting of the train setup between A and Z, or A and Z don't come together. What happens is A is the top part of the 8 and or the top part of the 3, or it could be the top part of the 8 completely from A to M, okay, in which N and O, okay, are the center around piece, in which you connect another hook and go around this way, and now you have the bottom part of the 8 and the top part of the 8, creating around the 0 letter, okay, both sides, and reconnecting, making your first 8. Then you can make another 8. And while that's happening, and it's figure 8 on this side and this side, which turns into 2 hourglasses, it's moving something different on the inside of what is the hexagon that is supposed to be a circle, but it can't be a circle, because when things are pulled straight, they become straight, and therefore there are no more circles other than you turning around. Other than making something linear and putting a hole in it. Even when you make a cylinder and a chain go around each other, if you did not formate the circle cannot go around. There has to be a reason, a pressure, a design, so it goes around, or there is no going around. It's coming around. It's coming around again. Because it's coming around because of some energy that's making it come back. Otherwise, it wouldn't come back at all. That's why we have knots. So anyways, we talked about the 2 figure 8s, and inside there would be your hexagon, okay? But it would be an elongated hexagon, okay? Because it's only inside the 9 lives of the cat can you actually split a whole world inside one world. And the reason for that is I'm going to try and show you, if I could, right over here. You see this X over here? I know I made it a little extra large. It breaks up inside a single square. This one breaks up where the dot comes onto a corner, connecting this dot to all four of these squares here, 4 squares in 1, and this would be your 5 inside your 10, connecting this kind of ace instead of this kind of ace, which would be maybe in this corner, or in the center, because otherwise it cannot be made like this. Otherwise, this takes up 4 squares. This only takes up 1. When this breaks up, it breaks up one area, the whole of one area. And now you have your neck and your 2 sides. You don't have to worry about what's down here. This makes your 1 quarter. 1 quarter, 1 quarter, 1 quarter, 1 quarter. And this puts you your other quarter that holds on to the other quarters. That makes you 1.5 quarters. It makes you on May 5th, the 5th day of the year, 5 times 5 times 5. Excuse me, I made a mistake. 555 equals 125 equals the 125th day of the year equals the 5th of May. 5, 5, and 5, 140 DNA strand. 1 and 4, 1 and 4 go into Jupiter. You want to look at number 40? Who was the 40 Schäfer blast? Right here, South Dakota. South says Sioux. It says below. To go below, coda. Okay? Something to do with a musical vibration. To go below the mountains because of the song that they sang. North Dakota was 39. South Dakota was same day. Same year. See Colorado, number 38. The Q, which represents again to the piano, number 17, 38, and 21, which is the cube, will now connect to 17, which is Ohio. This is time, my friend. This is all around wherever this is. This is where I keep repeating for years. Okay? See, they got Tennessee. They got all these in Monopoly, right? They got 1, 2, 3, 4, well, not this one, 4, 5, 6. 6 of these properties are all from Monopoly. Okay? 1788. What was the last Monopoly piece? Now don't forget, I can be wrong. The last monopoly piece was, now it depends where Short Line Railway is. Idaho is where the stones are. Washington, okay, which Washington? Seattle, Washington? If it was Seattle, Washington, then it's number 42, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe, on the November 11th, number 22. And that's what happened again. Seattle won the Super Bowl, and it's a reflection of 42nd president. This one over here. This is what just happened this year. We're in 1889, my friends. I just found this right now. I'm assuming, and I could be completely wrong, but I think we're in 1889 right now. What happened in 1889? Do you understand why? This is 2-2. 11 is 1 and 1 is 2. 1 and 1 is 2. The Super Bowl was played on the 22 day. It was 31 and 19. 31 in December. Take away 19 or take away 18 is 49. 7 by 7 is 49. It's eternal. Why did I do that? Because it's 49 days to go in the year. 49, 59, 61. There's 50 days to go in the year. 19 and 31 is 50. That's the passage. We played the Super Bowl on 33. The difference was 17. Back to back. They're standing. What happened? What happened? Gotta know. It hits it right here. I mean, was it that simple? Was it that simple? But this is not the last property on Monopoly. It's not the last property. It's the last property that has to go through my head. Montana, South Dakota, North Dakota, Colorado, Nebraska, Nevada, West Virginia, Kansas, Oregon, Minnesota, California, but it's a trick. 31, Herbert Hoover, Hoover Dam, 1850, California, September 9th, 252nd day of the year, low shoe. They connected. California, 31 is 30. Cleveland Grover reflects number 14. Number 14 reflects Jupiter. Jupiter reflects the 63 moons, which is the 3 world, which is the red world. 3 by 6 is R. 3 plus 6 is 9, is 27 red. The big red dog won a Big Mac. That's the energy level of 1-3 or AC connecting. 1850, whatever you know about 1850, maybe you're talking about Levi's jeans, I'm not sure. It is California, and how and why is it California? Because every time I say Marvin Gardens, I say California. You say Marvin Gardens yellow, I say California. You say September 9th, 1850, I say the 31st state of California. And it is also played as the 30th state, and also it's a reflection of the next state, Minnesota, Minneapolis. Again, 8 years later, May 11th. May 11th is in their time, this versus this. 2 parts of the Hebrew way. Okay, but we're not. This is the Mayans. This is the Mayans. This is Minnesota. Again, this is the other side of Ohio. But where exactly did they take in? 25. Louisiana. No, it's from the bottom. Missouri, Maine, Alabama. Bing, 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 bing. The 21st. There's 22 properties in Monopoly. 21st state, Illinois. 1818, December 3rd. 3-3, 33. Scion. Ill is the island or the sick island, number 21. Number 99. Replica of Jupiter. You have to go as far back as here to find a property. Okay? Some of them I'm skipping over, like Virginia. Indiana is the next one, number 19. New York, 21, okay, is actually Kentucky. But 21 is on free parking because the 21st area is free parking. So we got Illinois and free parking backing her up 3 spaces. Scion, this is the first part of pi. Indiana, Louisiana, 18. Now we got to go down and make sure we hit and hit big. We don't have Ohio, but if Ohio could be Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania State Railway Systems. Or is it around Ohio or Pennsylvania, Philadelphia? Because we have to put Pennsylvania, Philadelphia into this because of the train tracks and reading rail. We have Kentucky at number 22, but here it's 15. 15 is the letter O, 22 is the letter V, V-O-O-V. Okay, 50, the 50 passage right over here. And it is the 50 passage, is number 15. 13, 14, 15 are dead center to Rubik's Cube. They're all connected. Why? Because when you turn Rubik's Cube, okay, You're connected to all these, but you had to get in from here. You spread your arms out. You're like a turtle. You become a turtle on here. So your head has to come out of here. So even though this is M, N is the center, and O has to be the outside, you have to have one above. You have to put your arms out. You become, Rubik's Cube becomes your body. 2 arms, 2 legs, a head. Doesn't matter if they're stumps. It's just like the turtle. We had to put the turtle in there somewhere. We've seen the turtle lose to the rabbit all the time. Why is the turtle losing to the rabbit? Who is he as your body? You're running with Rubik's Cube around you, and you can't think that fast. There's a lot out there to think about. And if you don't know the question, then how do you want to begin to think about anything at all? A thought is a reflection of something. You think of it because you thought of something. Otherwise, you wouldn't think of it or anything else at all. But you'd be wondering all the time. But a wonder is a thinking. You think, you thought. So we have 61 or 19. Flip it over on Saturn. 61 or 19, 1991. That was the year the last one was born. 22 and almost 23 years ago. I know who he is, and he's just been given a job full of codes. He doesn't know it yet, and I don't want to tell him because I don't want him to get in trouble. And he won't even know what he's doing when he does it. Something that I know what it is that he's going to do. It won't be much at the beginning, but after that, maybe I can slide him the rest of the way in. Something he's going to learn. He was offered something to learn something, yet all he thinks about is that it's a job because he doesn't see the deepness of the core of where he is. So for him or for me, I mean, it's a short time, but we'll see the information coming on in the future by what he says to me. Anyways, so we did all these things, and we got down to where we went to North Carolina. Do we have New York? Yeah, we have New York. We have Virginia. Well, that's not a good page. New Hampshire's not in there. South Carolina in there. Maryland, Massachusetts, Connecticut's in there. Georgia, Pennsylvania is number 2. You get number 2, then you create number 1. Did you follow me why? You get number 2, but you create number 1. You surround the next one so nobody can get on by. So then the next one joins your force because they see how strong you are and how smart you are. And all this is in the time of George Washington. Did you know that George Washington, okay, brought in when he came in, 1, 2, 3. In the first year, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8. Bah. Did anybody follow it? George Washington wasn't made president until here. Those first 11 states were made State of the Union before anything else. And the first 2 that they made, okay, was Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. So no matter what you're doing, this is what they stated before. They built their world. They built their perfect worlds and fit you in everywhere in between. Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maryland, South Dakota, New Hampshire, Virginia, and New York. And then 6 months later, okay, how many months later? What was it, March 4th, April 30th? May, June, July, August, September, October, November, 7 times 30, 200 days later, he made his first George Washington, only picked off the 12th one. He only completed it with the 12 and started the 13th, all the way over to 16, Sweet 16, and Sweet George ends with, that's right, 4 properties, from Monopoly, North Carolina, Vermont, Kentucky, Tennessee. And they start off with the Queen's Plate, and they pick up Ohio, which is just like Kentucky. Same thing, picking up the Queen's Plate, 17 on the first try. And in comes John Adams. Wow. John Adams only had a shot at one. After that, it was the next president and led all the way up until it went down to 1821. But did you see what happened in 1818? Illinois. Alabama, 31. Does anybody remember yesterday from the numbers we did? 19 plus 31 in an equation. I do not remember what it is, but we know it's one cylinder level below 42. Not, excuse me, 11. It's an opposition world. Why? Because it's either going to be a difference of 9 or a difference of 11. Although it's 10 and 13 and 7 and 10 and 13, which are 3 beyond each other, and 6 beyond 7 is 13 because it's on the other side. It's the same thing between going 9 and 11. 123 is Missouri. 123 ABC Sesame Street. 123 equals to 6 and 6. Add them up or multiply it, equals to your 12, equals to your George Washington, and doubles up to 24 on August 10th. The 8th month of the 10th, 45. The number of the fox. Who was here at this time? This is also an important date. Anyways, like I said, okay, the Pope was carrying the cord around his neck. The Queen is now, okay, her crown has been removed from our coins. She's only on the $20 bill. She used to be on all the money, but now she's only on the coin, and now her crown has just been removed from the $1 loonie, and the maple leaf was shoved in the center. The tiny little dot, like what they reflect, you know, when you put your hand on your heart. Well, the center core is the maple leaf. Is that good? It went dead center. Ike? I didn't say hike, did I? I didn't say that loud enough. These cards, the queens, okay? The queens. No, forget about the queens. I just want to show you what they did to this card. You see this card? Okay? Don't you see number 4 here? It's also number 17. Okay? 4 or 17. Why 4 or 17? You talk about the 4 corners or the 4 suits. See, it doesn't matter. See the 4? Lost in the 8. 4 lost in 8. 4 is lost in 6. 6 and 4 equals 6. 4 and 4 equals what? Whoop. Number 12 equals 3 equals 4. Let's pick up another card. 9 and 4. There's a difference in this one. Do you know why? Because this one can go the opposite way. But guess what? 4 goes in 4 equals to exactly these ones left. This is your life right here. What about these 4? Forget about those 4. And forget about the moon here, and forget about the moon here, and forget about Venus that goes over here, or Venus that goes over here. And at the same time, there's something that's here that's not here, that's here on this card. You see? See the way this fits in between? So now they're half and half. So there's more rows to what you think than there is. Or is it the same platform, just the drill holes are in different places? Why? And how does it work? And do we slide in on the angles? Slide into every single world. So every single shape. Every one of these shapes, okay? Every one of these shapes has to have something in common between all of them. They all must have something in common. Every single one of them. Every single one. It doesn't matter what it is. They'll have something in common. That way they'll be able to go down the slide, down the chute. They have to have and what do they have in common in order to get down? Size? Hey man, and they're all hooked up to the slide. Let's slide on in. Maybe I'll come down as water. That'll be cool. I could be wiring and come down as an electricity bolt inside the wires. But if you snip the wire, I'm cut off the life. Well, that's the way it is. In your own heart, you're wired up. You're wired up for this game. But with the spirit, my friends, as long as the body is wired up, you're full of spirit and you are a complete soul. You'll know to learn if you are taught right. And if you are taught right, you will learn and you will teach yourself after that. Self-hypnotic, irreversible robots, brainwashed to begin with. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. One deck for $19.99. Visit bicyclepersonalizedcards.com. Buy 2 decks, get the 3rd free. The question is, if you buy 2 decks, you've bought more than 1 deck, and if you did bought more than 1 deck, then how can the 3rd one be free? It costs you 2 decks to get 1 deck. There's a key to this. Isn't that funny? Buy 2 decks and get the 3rd one free. But think about it. If you don't buy any decks, it doesn't cost you any money, so you don't want the 3rd deck. So, or why just give it to me free? I won't buy any, but you have to buy. So the free costs you 2 times whatever 1 deck costs. Buy 2 decks, costs you $40 for 2 decks. You get the 3rd deck with it, divided by 3. The $40 divided by 3 is $13.33, and you've got part of ISON coming down is 6, 6, and 6. You see, Jupiter owns 9/11 completely. No matter which side you shove a 9 or 11, it's always going to be Jupiter. 9 plus 2, 29 is black and yellow, is the 2 ends of the stick of the ingoing and the outgoing, starting with the slide, the water slide, is Jupiter. It's the bell electric, it's under the earth, it's the totality of the life of the earth, which comes out of Venus, the introduction of nature. That's the way I look at her. She is the electronic nature. It's electronic nature because the DNA is electronic. It's alive. It's not dead. Soul is dead. You bring it to life with spirit, with the fire of life, with air. We are a combination of the elements of life. Each and every one of us, for every breath we take and for every thought we have, we are energized and think from that energy, bringing on thoughts of previous knowledge and teaching us a continuous, if we just know the basics. If it doesn't fit your style, get up and walk away. Say you're sorry. If you can't speak and they're really totally against you, somehow there should be a band that sort of like gets hot on their arm, you know? Be powered up to matrix. Only the machine would know. You can never ask the machine because the machine, right, throws out old information. It works on moment to moment. It fixes the moment. You have to remember. If the machine had to remember, her memory bank would be too large. Where did I see this? I saw this in the Matrix, where the machines only came to destroy, okay, Morpheus and his ship. Okay? So what we have to do, that when somebody's going to do something wrong and they have that band, they own the band. It's hooked up to the system of life, and all it does is it sends a few shock waves into your arm, not big, reminding you to get along in this world. There's a better thing to do. And it just gives you an idea that you should listen to your cassette one more time of what life is all about. So it'll still be your choice. It's just that you'll have, and you can lower it if you want, or you can turn it off. And you can not wear it if you don't never want to learn. But if you want to learn, it's like having a teacher with you all the time. Now, can they ever change it so that they can follow us? No. I told you, it's for the moment and moment. It has no memory. The only information it has to correct the direct situation. After that, it forgets who you are. That way, you can't build up an ego. When you build up ego, it's because you're retaining that memory of whatever it might be, of whatever might give you the high. But these machines don't run on highs. They don't run on lows. They run on equality. There is no other way but the right way, and that's the holy way of any way. So they give a heat, and everybody knows, or a shock wave, whatever you want to program it to. And I told you, you don't even have to wear it, and nobody can follow it, because in the new world, the truth will be holy. The holiest thing in the world will be the truth. It'll be a hole. There'll be nothing there, because you spoke the truth. Otherwise, you'd see an X. If you speak the truth, you see a ball, and all balls are the size of the hole. So the hole remains what it is. You don't see no X's, so therefore you're okay. It's an X or an O. Either you see it or you don't. And if you don't see it, it's good. It doesn't become a strike, but within your own mind. But when a ball passes through a hole, it remains a hole. It's a hole, and it's always a hole for wherever the hole might be. The whole thing is, it only holds 3 balls in the hole. After that, you go to first base. That'll be the 4th ball. It holds 3. The 4th ball opens up the door and lets you go all the way to first base. In your head, you know, you got your 4th ball. You didn't really count. You say ball 4 and you're on your way to first. If you say ball 4 and you're on your way to first, it's like at the same time. H and I, put them together. You got H, you got H, you got the ball, you got H, you're at home, you got the ball. It's the 4th ball, you're on the way to first base. 4 balls, 3 strikes, Earth and Mars. 7 altogether, call it up your ass or Uranus. We went 3 to the plate, but guess what? There was a guy in the on-deck circle, Maldeck. He was in the on-deck circle while I came up and I struck out as the 3rd out of the inning. No more people in the on-deck circle. If you load the bases but don't score a run and have 2 outs, you will have 5 that went up. The 6th is at the plate. The 7th one is in the on-deck circle. Uranus again. The end of the piano saying, golly gee, it could have been me. We all know the 4th player is the first player that has the actual chance to knock in all 4. He knocks in 3 plus himself, which is all 4. Raphael 7286 on a constellation of Pegasus. This comes from part of the design of the Pope Ratzinger. You see the E or the banisters? Put them next to each other, the EE, EXE, X, cute. What would you like to know? This is part of the sword or the hatchet that the kings wore in the cards. This is the hat. And if I held it like this, you would see 2 eyes and it'd be looking like a weasel and it'd be going that way. This one, okay, is the same thing. It's part of it. But when you start breaking it apart and rebuilding it, the circle came between, you see the reflective? This is the water and this is above the ground and this is a pyramid below the water. Here's the 1/4 of the circle of one side. And all the circles have to overlap if you're inside a square. Otherwise, you'll have these big gaps. See the beak that I put on? But I didn't put on a beak. It's just a corner of my circle of what ends. It creates the beak. So all of a sudden it has to look like the bird. So if you want to know why our clouds look like animals and stuff, because inside the matrix, vine lines undercross other lines in which they're pulled, like a bridge. And one touches the other one, it doesn't matter. Okay? It's an open space, so it comes all the way down from here, comes through it, and it creates this bird beak. So that's why when they do these chemtrails or special clouds, you might see a beak. I'm saying about. Now you can see a 4-sided pyramid. When I held it like this, it was not a 3-sided pyramid. See the 2 sides here, the 2 sides here? When I hold it like this, it looks like 4 sides. Or you hold it like this, and it's the top. See, here's the top, and then here's the bottom reflection in the water. Can I make that reflection happen in less than 60 seconds? Let's see. Let's see, did it work? See the reflection in the water? This is below the water. This is Atlantis below the water. Or it could be the other way around. But anyways, Raphael 7286 on a constellation of Pegasus. I want to thank you for making it all the way to the end. But I forgot to say one thing. Back to Saturn. Number 93 equals 17, the backdoor gate of the piano keys, equaling 9 and 4 and 3. No, 9 and 4, yes, and 3 and 10, JD. Now this is the top of a Hebrew explanation about the P and H letter and the 4, 2, 4, 6, and 8 letter. They can explain it better than me. Okay, I want to take 3 and bring it to the 7 world will be 4, and 9 to the 7 world will be 7. 7 and 4 says Einstein, the dog pound, and we're back on Saturn again. The same thing we did with number 59. The same thing over and over, 1776. Everything goes back to Saturn. Did we get our bodies, and our bodies are Saturn? Our heads are Neptune? Are we Uranus because we have a mouth and an ass? The 13 world was 10 and 4, JD. 10-4 CB codes, my birthday. 10 times 4 is 40, the blue world. and 14 is 54, the blue world. Guess what? We got the orange sun in the blue world. The blue palette you rent, the orange palette you buy and you exchange. So that's about what it is. You borrowed the body with the energy and the mighty food, that the source of food they gave us to burn our engines, to light our light, to bring in the blue spirit, the rented energy that we needed for this world so our soul can live inside a star's life where it can retain a memory to think, to get in, so we can do things in this world because we have a mind. So we were able to connect because the two links linked up. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. So what do we get? 9 and 3, we get 1 and 7, which is a reverse of 1771, and 39 is the 1313 of 3 worlds, which is 4, 4, and 4. 13, 1 and 3 is the AC connect inside of Jupiter. AC 1 and 3, we are the 3. How do I know? Jesus told me. He said 33 in all the books. Well, we all know when Jesus was put to hang, he was 36 years old. We all know that because man, creation, is 3 sixes. 36, 3 sixes, 18 and 18 for I and I. That's 36. So if you think Jesus died at 33, you gotta start your engine just a little bit more. You really don't live until you're 37. 37 is Nibiru. It's the Bruin inside of everybody. It's that might for the Tea Party to fight for what we think what it should be, regardless of the value of the item. We will fight till the end is an expression in 1771. Maybe the separation of the Queen. Starting to like her, I don't know why. Where else am I with this? So we went 17. Then we went to number in the 7 world, we had to get 7 and 4. In the 13 world, we had to get 4 and 10, which is J, D, or it's also Jody. Oh my God. Jody. Joker, die. The game. The die. Die, or the die we have that we throw the die. Jod, Yod is the same thing, Yod in Hebrew. 4, 6 goes here and 9 goes here. When I create one world from the next world, I'll also go inside that world and recreate inside this world to see what comes along with this world. Nobody's alone. This is Saturn. This is also the highway in Las Vegas. Hoover Dam, H&H, 88. Why do we all get married in Vegas? Because that's where the ship and the hips of the ship move. Something to do what's up in the sky or underneath Las Vegas. Okay, there's something there. The ship and the hip, how Elvis Presley moved his hips. And what Elvis Presley sang. Elvis is the screw, my friends. That's what it says. Jailhouse Rock. J-H-R, the Joker, J-H-R, the Joker and the hair, whatever it might be. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. Thank you, just thank you.